Hey, welcome to our Connections post show. Super great to be with you guys. It's been a while since I've been on the show, but it is awesome to be back and to be with you guys. How's everybody doing this morning?
Not bad. I mean, apparently our votes don't matter because I'm just kidding.
No.
Congratulations, Perry.
Doing good.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, doing great. I mean, it's Sunday. We're here having a blast so far.
No,
Yeah.
Perry has way too much energy because I was up late watching the games
So
too,
was I.
and I'm dragging this morning. So yeah, I don't know how
We
he
were
does
laid
it.
back
Oh, man.
post show.
Yeah.
We're just going to sit here and we're going to chill, do some breathing exercises.
Oh,
That's right.
No, that
I'm
would
going
be
to purposely
horrible.
pray right now.
Purposefully,
yeah. We're all
passionately,
gonna pray in our heads,
prayerfully.
Quietly.
and you can watch.
How many P's can we fit into a prayer conversation about prayer?
Mhm.
It's possible. We could do plenty of
If we're
P's.
purposeful about it, yes.
Yes.
They're not gonna know what the heck that means if you don't explain
Well,
it.
I mean, we were just talking about how many P's Perry threw into the
the slide.
Unstoppable people
passage. I was gonna say
pray
passage, but that's not-
passionately.
yes.
While wearing a
Yeah.
shirt that says pursuit.
pursuit.
Yeah.
Yes. The
So
prayer
there was a lot of
sermon.
P's, yes.
Yes.
But I mean, a great conversation piece, right?
It
Talking
is.
about prayer, the power of prayer, the purposefulness behind our prayer.
Are you doing this?
Not necessarily on
Yeah.
purpose, but it is something that we need to discuss. Saying strength behind a prayer is just not the same as power behind a prayer.
Mhm.
Or purposefulness.
Or
'cause you can
purposefulness.
just, that means you're praying for something.
Intentionality.
Yes.
I mean, I
Intent.
guess that's a different non-P word, but yeah. What were your thoughts about his message, sharing about the power and the pursuit and the other P's that he presented?
I always think it's a good one because I'll be honest, prayer is one of those things that, I set time aside to do it.
Mhm.
And it's like, I shouldn't just do it when I have set time aside. It should be as
Yeah.
just, sometimes you can be spontaneous, or sometimes I just fall into normal life things and like work hits early or something throws off my normal routine. And then my prayer time goes with it too. So I always am equally glad, but then also conflicted when we talk about prayer because I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those, it's nice to be reminded, and what happens when people all come together
Mhm.
praying
Yeah.
over something similarly, but also trying to just, work together. So I think it's a great message to help remind people how important prayer is.
Absolutely. What else?
And that the power behind it really has to do with him, but aligning us with, say, with our purpose and what he has going on, which I've always found that, and I've always found myself, I've identified with the tale in Genesis when God shares with Abraham what he's planning for Sodom and Lot, and Abraham just basically keeps going back and forth like, God, what about 50 people? What about 40? Just like, I always feel like that when I'm talking to God, but God, what about this? And what about this? And I like, am I weighing I'm wearing God down from trying to get something I really want? And when that's not really what it's about, like what we actually hear from our God is just that you don't have because you don't ask. And it's just like, no, this is like, pray with intention, pray with purpose, pray with these things so that you can tap into the power that I want you to have in your life. And it's not really about you. It's about trying to find that for the greater purpose that I created you for.
Mhm. Yeah. That's
And for
good.
us to even think we could possibly wear him down, it is funny
Right.
because that like story, he's like, fine,
Yeah.
10, whatever. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
they're like, haha, I got him. I was like, no,
Uh-huh.
God knew.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so interesting though, because God's like, yeah, sure, I'll meet you there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right?
But it's more of a lesson for Abraham. Like,
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And I mean, God was willing to, I guess, decent, whatever the word is there. He was willing to meet him there and say like, yeah, if you can find somebody, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually he's just like, okay, God, like, I guess I let it go to you. Finally. Thank you. All right.
Yep.
Oh, you knew from the very start of this what was
Right.
going to happen. Duh.
Elizabeth, what about you?
I feel like it's just the weird little things that I feel like I say this every time that either Dave or Perry just like say it in the exact way that my brain needs to hear it
Hmm.
to where like it was literally something, it wasn't even a point in his message, but I wrote it down like exactly how he said it, because I was like, this is so simple. It's prayer is simply talking to God. Because then as I was listening, I feel like sometimes I fall in like the routine of just asking for things, or just being like only situational prayers, rather than like, I need to worship God through my prayer. Like, I don't think about that, you know, because I feel like I have such a connotation of worship with like worship music, because like growing up, that's like kind of what our whole house has been surrounded by. Like, that's my dad's job, you know, and it has been for as long as I can remember. So I feel like I have such like a, like, this is what this means in my brain type of a thing, that it's like I forget that that's such a broad thing, that music is just a part of it. That like you can do that through prayer. So it was like a good reminder for me to just like drop whatever like thought that I have that prayer has to be this certain way, or I have to do things this certain way. Like, it's a relationship with God. You're just talking to him, and I forget that because he can't talk back. Like, you know, like a human being can right in front of your face. And I feel like sometimes I just like forget that. So it was a good reminder for me. Like, it's those little simple reminders that just like are so easy to forget, and like they smack in your face, and you're like, wait, dang it.
Like, dummy.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's one of the things that tends to keep us from a consistent and deep life of prayer is we don't physically see God present with us. He is always there. He is always speaking to us. It's not just in the ways that we hear, like you said, like a human would.
Yeah.
And that can be so hard to just get our minds around. It's like, because we appreciate that back and forth interaction, like, you know, kind of like batting back and forth, or like if we're razzing each other, like we love to have that interaction, just because we feel that. But we need to understand and know that with God, it's just different. It's not the same. And like Perry said, he's a great listener.
I know. Like,
he's not
like
going to smack you right then. It might take a couple minutes, maybe a few days, but God is going to give you the direction that you need, but he wants to hear about it first.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes he speaks to us through us as well. As we're speaking to him, we're sharing the things that are on our hearts. He allows us to hear what it is that we're going through, and then works through that as well. And it's so interesting so many times. And I think when I think about prayer, I tend to go back to my time in New Zealand. There was this interaction that I'd had where we were meeting together as a staff, everybody that was there at the church. And one of the things that someone who was kind of a senior staff person, actually a worship pastor, had told to one of my teammates was like, man, Matresa, it's like when you're writing your prayers down, it's like reading a psalm. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. I need to be intentional and write mine like a psalm. And so like I had to have this sort of formalized way of making my prayers be a certain thing for somebody else, rather than just me to God, rather than just me having that conversation with God. And I mean, over the years, it's funny because I tend to go back to that, but I try to focus on where I've developed to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm practicing being present with God and having that moment where I'm sitting with him and I'm talking with God and I'm saying, God, like, here's what I'm going through. Here's the things that I'm dealing with. And here's where I see you working. Is this you? Is this something that I'm trying to make you? Like, what does that look like? And I think that's been a big thing for me, that I think Perry touched on it, is the acronym. We all love a good acronym, right? WAR, worship. I mean, you go through the Psalms and it's worship. And then he has the admission of either fault or guilt or whatever it might be. And then, what was the R again?
Oh boy, you got me.
Request.
Yes.
Request. I almost said response. I was like, it's not response. But that request and giving it to God and saying, God, this is what I want. This is what I'm needing. What is your desire for me? And like the Psalms, I just love the way the Psalms are written. But what do you think about that? The acronym, the worship, admission, response.
The request is the hardest for me.
Request.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Like how I subtly did that. But it's like, cause it's like, I have a life that's not hampered by, I can worship when I want. I don't, I can go to what church I want. My kids, I'm not fearful for their, this or that. They have good health. So it's like one of those things where I'm like, God, you know what I need. And you almost don't want to bother him because there's all this other stuff going on. And no, it's not just about him, but it's like when your kids come to ask you something, it's like, of course I'm going to help you, but I need to know what, that what you're asking for, not just asking to ask. So
Yeah.
that's where I get so wrapped up in my own brain. It's like, God knows. I don't have to say it to him. He knows. And I don't want to bother him. I'm like, you're never a bother, Andy. Like, it's impossible to be a bother for somebody that's that powerful and all knowing. But I sometimes place too many human feelings on God. And I'm like, well, I don't want to bug him. He knows. It's fine.
Yeah.
When is the last time that we in America have truly had to pray for our daily bread?
Right.
Do we even know what that's like? To wondering where our next meal's coming from. I mean, for some people, yes, that is true.
Yeah.
But it's to be completely that dependent on God. Something I had read and heard recently is, when the disciples came to Jesus to ask how to pray, and it's like, hey, we see how powerful your prayers are. We want to pray like you do. Teach us how to do this. But the first, even the opening words, and this is what Perry was showing, with that WAR, starts with worship, but he also starts with our Father.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny how it doesn't say my Father, Dad. It's just our Father. It just, even just pointing out that one thing is like, there's always that communal aspect to it.
Yeah.
It's for us. It's for all of us. And we are always say we acknowledge his presence. It's that it is higher. He is holy. He is other than us. And so we attribute that worthiness to him first of all, because starting there, we acknowledge that he has the power and the ability to fulfill what we're about to request of him and everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Elizabeth, what do you think?
I actually have just started reading this book that
You can read?
I know, shocker.
Had to, sorry.
That is all about like the character of Jesus and who he is. And there's so much that's like I know about Jesus's life, where it's like you're like, yeah, duh. Like he did this, he did that, like
there's this great book about him.
Yeah, there's more.
I think it's the best-selling book of all time.
Yeah. But this book has been like really diving into like his character and just like how much he genuinely cares about each person, each situation. That was hard for me, individually. And it like just blows my mind that like God can care that deeply about every single person, like that he can be present with every single person all at the same time. Like that is just like, and I can't be present with someone if I have like a to-do list in my head and I'm just like scatterbrained, like it's so like check yourself. But
Before you wreck yourself.
Yeah. But I have been reading this book and it's been like really just like challenging for myself because it's also like God cares this much about me, and you don't, at least I don't tend to like, not that I don't think that way, but it's like, oh, when you hear about someone going through something, you're like, God loves you. Like God cares about you. God cares about what you're going through. But I'm not in the habit of saying that to myself as much as I were to someone else.
Sure.
So as I was listening to this and as Perry's talking about this, I was just thinking about that book and it's like, God cares. Like he wants you to just talk and you can say like, you can be mad at him. Like I liked when Perry said that because it's like, he can take it.
Mm-hmm.
He already knows that you're mad at him. So you might as well tell him, like you might as well like talk through it. Cause it's like, bottling something up also then could create some sort of resentment or some sort of something with God that it's like he can take it, so just open the bottle, open the bottle and pour it all out, and so it's been good for me to just like hear this as a reminder of like it doesn't need to be this structured, I said this a couple weeks ago, structured like sit in a corner and pray, like like you would typically think, or someone who doesn't really understand prayer would think.
Yeah, I don't
You
want
can-
somebody to look at me and go, that guy's not praying right. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no right or wrong way.
Yeah.
I'm
Like-
just talking to God.
You
Yeah.
could be folding your laundry and just
Yeah.
talking, like
Mhm.
there's so many things that you do in your day that it's like, why not also talk to God? Like you got thoughts going on up there. Why not just
Let them out.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think what you touched on right there is so important. We tend to treat God like he's like us.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like we say, okay, if I can't talk to my mom or my dad or my friend or boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, if I can't talk to this other person, let them know everything that is on my heart, how mad I am at them or how hurt I am by them, I can't talk to God like that.
Mhm.
And we tend to make God in our image rather than recognize the inverse, where we are made in God's image and we have that relationship with God, and God sees us as his children. And there is nothing, there is no height nor depth, there's no mountain, there is no valley, there is no place that we can go to get away from his love.
Mhm.
That includes the things that we say to him.
Mhm.
That includes every interaction that we have. I mean, there's been times where, gosh, I've been furious with God. Like, God, why is this not changing in my life?
Yeah.
But still, he shows his faith in every way that I need it
Mhm.
to reassure me that he's still sovereign.
Mhm.
Always has been, always will be. And I think that's just so important for us to recognize and to be reminded of. I mean, even as a pastor, like I need to be reminded of the power of prayer.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I need to be reminded how passionate I should be as I speak.
Passionately powerful.
Passionately powerful.
Purposeful.
As a pastor.
He really put the P in the pastor.
Not to let prayer just fall by the wayside.
Mhm.
It isn't just talking, it's having that relationship, it's developing that, it's deepening that, and it's continuing to be intentional through that. But yeah, we're pretty close to our time. Any last thoughts?
Somebody said it once, it's like you don't develop friendships by not talking to people.
Yeah.
And like I'm like, duh. And I should consider God the ultimate friend,
Yeah.
and I should be talking. So that one stuck with me and will always stick with me.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
And also just like you're not a bad person, not a bad Christian if you don't pray or if that's not your first thought, like
Yeah.
there's
Mhm.
there's so much that like, as long as you're trying and you're trying to have a relationship with God, like I feel like sometimes I walk away from Sunday, I'm like, man, I have to do this. I have to do this. I feel so bad because it's like, man, I suck, like, dang, that's bad.
We're all
But
in.
it's
Wait
like-
for it. Process.
Oh my gosh. I was expecting we're all in this together, but
I mean, yeah,
shows our age difference.
but process. Yeah.
Process,
yeah.
not perfection.
Boom.
Yes. Oh my God. Paul.
Awesome. Well, we want to let you go, but thank you so much for being with us. Join us for Easter in just a couple of weeks. We are so looking forward to that. We're so looking forward to remembering the resurrection, and we're going to jump to ours then. And it's just so great to have you with us. But as much as we love you, remember, God loves you more. God bless.